Hey Hardies, it's your girl Brian here from Mo's and May's Baby. I want to thank you all so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to tune into me today. I want to say I appreciate each and every one of you, and I love you all so very, very much. I want to thank you all for all the comments, the encouragement that I've been getting along the way. So if there's something that you want to know about me, if there's a recipe that you might be interested in, any questions you might have, just leave me a comment and I'll be sure and get back to you. So today I'm going to be tidying up my bathroom. I'm not going to do a really, really deep clean today because I'm just going to spruce it up a little bit. So I bought this home. It'll be 24 years in February, and I remember the date and everything so vividly. I closed for my home on February 5th, and that's actually my sister's birthday. And I had to, it was a bad snowstorm that day too, and I had to go all the way to Batavia because my paperwork wasn't correct, and I had to make sure all the paperwork was in by the end of business on the 5th. So a little bit about my home. My home is approximately 300 years old. It's a HUD home, and I don't know if you guys know anything about HUD. A lot of times they'll give 50% off for peace officers and teachers, and but no, I didn't get anything like that. You know, my house was very reasonable anyway, so you know, I was happy with the price that I paid for it. It actually went down $5,000 in the process of me getting it because no one had bid on it. So my brother-in-law actually took me out to see the house because he was doing real estate at the time. He was also a correctional officer, but part-time he had got his real estate license. And so when it was time for me to look, of course, I contacted him. So the reason why I was looking for a home was because some people had moved upstairs from the apartment that we were living in, and there was always a foul odor coming from up there, and I'm like, I wondered what it was. I never knew, and I came to find out that they were up there doing drugs. And at the time, my daughter was pregnant with my grandchildren, the twins, and they'll be 24 in February. And I'm like, I cannot bring these babies here, you know. And so I was telling my brother all about it, and he was just like, well, why don't you, look into buying a home? I was, a single mother of 4, and I'm like, I don't know if I can get a home. He was just like, yeah, just, maybe you can look at one of those HUD homes. Sometimes they need a little work, but a lot of that stuff I know how to do myself, and I'm more than willing to help you, and which he did. And I honestly say I've been blessed with a lot of people in my life to help me along my way. So shout out to my friend Bob. Bob is the one who did the bathroom for me back in 24. I had the bathroom done. 2024 I had the bathroom remodeled, and it's to my taste, so I'm sure it's not to everyone else's, but I am loving my bathroom. I always wanted a cloth bathtub, and now I have one. And he actually had to build the vanity from scratch. It's just 2 big pieces of wood. He had to sand down shape, and he put a lot of work into it, and I appreciate him so much. And so yeah, like I was saying, when I was in the process of buying a home, I saw this little ad in the Penny Saver, and it was telling you how to buy foreclosed homes. And I ordered the little packet, and it was only like $18 at the time. And inside the little packet, it gave me a list of the homes in my area. It gave me information on how to challenge your credit report, and a lot of in the book was very, very good. It gave you step-by-step instructions on how to do everything. So I couldn't go wrong. That was the best $18 I've ever spent. And so I really, really wanted a home with a big kitchen and a big bathroom, because I do like to cook, and I also wanted a big bathroom. And what really struck me was the fireplace that was in it. Of course, my daughter, she went riding out to the house when we got the paperwork, and she was peeping in the window. And so I contacted my brother-in-law, and he opened up the house so that I could take a look at. And he was saying, how for a HUD home, it was in very, very good condition. But I wanted to have something that I could do myself. I had been watching a lot of DIY shows, and so I was really interested in getting something that I could put my own touch on my stamp, because I do have a very unique style. I don't want you to walk in my home and say, oh, I got that, I got this. No, I wanted it to be very unique and on my own taste. And so I actually went to take a look at the house on 9/11, when they had bombed the towers. I got stuck at work. I was working the midnight shift at the men's facility, and I got stuck until 3 o'clock the next day because of that strike. And so I was so tired. I went and looked at the home, and my brother met me and my brother-in-law there, and we went through it, and it was it needed a lot of work. The roof was actually caved in, so when we first moved into the home, we couldn't stay upstairs. And as you can see, your girl has got her a nice bidet, and I always tell my kids, I'm roughing it when I come to your house and stay, and I'm not at my house, because now I gotta wipe my own bottle. But yes, so my brother ended up saying, it was a good deal, and I want to thank my brother so much, because he was very inspirational in helping me, motivate me to get this home. And he actually helped do a lot of work on this home. He fixed that ceiling so we could move upstairs into the bedroom, and he has helped me with a lot of things along my way. And I love my brother, and I appreciate him so much. And I don't know where I would be without him. So shout out to you, Freddie. I love you. So like I said, my home was 300 years old, and it had been abandoned for about 3 years. And when nobody had bid on the home, and that's why it ended up going down $5,000 before I got it. And my brother-in-law said to me, this home was definitely meant for you, because no one had bid on the home. But when I got approved for the home, everybody and their mama had started putting in bids on the home, but it was too late. It was mine. And so I can remember, my grandkids actually came home to this house. This was the only home that they've known that I've lived in. So this is home for them. It's because my daughter, she had the babies that Saturday. Before we moved in on a Monday, and I actually had to go and pick her up and the baby up. Well, just Bree, because Burrow was underweight, so he had to go to a NIC unit. And so we were, of course, when I went to pick her up, the doctor had made his rounds yet, so I had to go back home. And in the process, I'm moving stuff into the new house. I'm trying to clean up the old house, and I'm running back and forth to pick her up and my granddaughter. And so, it's just truly been a blessing of me to be able to have my own home. And especially where my background, I come from a very, very humble background. I am the youngest of 10 children, and my mother and father were migrants. They migrated from Florida to New York to actually work. And then they just decided to stay. And I was actually born on a place called Connelly's Camp, which I'll talk about that a little later. And I had never ever actually lived in a house before, a single family home. I was born on Connelly's Camp, and then when I was in the second grade, we moved into an apartment. And I have never ever lived into a single family home, and I was the first of my mom's kids to even purchase a home. So I'm very blessed in that aspect, and that was one thing about working in the Department of Corrections. People hated that job. I hate dealing with the inmates, this, that, and the third. They hate it. So a lot of people, so much about that job. Well, I always had a smile on my face, because you know what, that job allowed a single mother of 4 to have a home. No, it's not the Taj Mahal, but it's mine. I have a car to drive. No, it's not a Lincoln or a Cadillac, but it's mine. I have it. I was able to put food on the table, clothes on my kids' back. And that's all that mattered to me. I had benefits for them, because the state has really good benefits. And so in that aspect, I was definitely blessed to get this home. And I'm just hoping, I know that my mom and dad would be proud of me if they were here to see me in this stage of my life. And I was able to retire at 58 when I retired, and I had 26 years of service, because I had my home paid off at that time. And I was able to do that because I would eavesdrop and hear people talk at work, and they was telling me how, well, you can take 7 years off your mortgage if you paid it bi-weekly instead of once a month. So what I did was, when I got my income tax check, I paid my mortgage, and then every 2 weeks I made sure I would pay that extra. I would pay my mortgage, half of my mortgage, or it was actually more than half. So, and I have my son Marcel to thank for that, because he had started helping me with my finances, because sometimes I was like, I would forget to pay stuff. Oh my gosh, I gotta pay this, I gotta pay that. And so he was just like, Mom, I'm gonna just be in charge of your bills, So he took me up to Key Bank. We opened up an account, and and he was had privy to my account so that he could pay my bills. And so what happens is, my account was direct deposited. So how I grew up, my mom and them didn't talk to me about saving money, about for retirement or anything like that. That was things I had to learn as I got older. And so by listening to other people, I was able to make a plan for myself. So what I would do is, I had my money coming in direct deposit, and then I had my bill of pay account. I would transfer the money into my bill of pay account, and my son would actually take that money to pay my bills. And then now that my house is paid, I had a house account. So I would take the money automatically out of my checks and put it into that account for my insurance and the taxes for my home. And so when I got ready to retire, I had actually put myself on a budget. So I would move all this money around, and I had actually had a savings account. So I would take all my money, put it in my bill account, my escrow account, and then I would put some money in my savings. I was only living off of $500 every 2 weeks, and unless I wanted to take my grandkids out or something like that. And during this time, There was a lot of overtime, and I was stacking up on the overtime because I knew I wanted to get out, and I knew there was things around my home that I wanted to get done. And so I would just live off the $500 every 2 weeks, and that's how I'm able to have stuff to get my home remodeled. And of course, I know people who are willing to do it at a reasonable rate for me, and so that's been a blessing for me as well. And I couldn't be more happy with my little home. I enjoy my little home. Like I said, it might not be your taste, but it's mine. And I've always wanted my little clawfoot. I have that, and so I'm truly blessed to be able to have these things. And yes, so when I had actually started paying my mortgage every 2 weeks, they were sending me the money back, and they'd say, oh, you had extra money in your escrow, and I would send it back to them. Apply it to my account. And after the second time this happened, I actually spoke with a lady, and she said, the first person told me you can't do that, but I was listening to people, ear hustling at work, and yeah, that's what they do. So the other lady I talked to, she said, absolutely, you can do that. You can just write on a piece of paper that anything that's left in your account, apply it to your principal. And that's what I did. And so it actually took 7 years or more, because I was paying a little bit, because now nobody's home but me, and I have a little bit of extra money. I'm making more money than before, and so I was able to, and my mortgage was really cheap. The mortgage was only like $500. And so I was able to put a lot of extra on it. And I have to thank my son for that, because, he was making sure things, that stuff was taken care of for me. And so I would say to anybody who wants to get a home, if you're single with one income, or, both parents just don't make a lot of money, there is a way to be able to get a home, and it's not to say that, it's the best home. It may need some work, but, you can make it into what you want it to be. And that's what I'm actually doing. I'm taking my time to get my home into what I want it to be. And I'm not going to leave it to sell it. I want to leave it for my grandchildren to enjoy as well. So if none of my kids want it, hopefully one of my grandkids will want to live here. And I'm sure, absolutely, I could sell it for more than what I bought it for at this stage of the game. But again, I'm just truly thankful and blessed to be able to have my own home, especially coming from such a humble background, where my parents were migrant workers, and I never actually had lived in a house before. So my mom always said, it's not what you have, it's how you keep it. So, you may not have the best things, but as long as they're clean and it looks nice, then that's all that's matter. We have to be grateful for what we have. I can't look at a person that has 2 incomes and say, oh, I wish I had this, I wish I had that. No, I am grateful for what I have. I even have a little towel warmer. My son brought my towel warmer for me, so I can actually put towels or my pajamas in there, warm them up as well. And when I first got the bathroom done, him and my grandkids came over. They had this really big box. I'm thinking, what is this? I don't have room for anything in here. And it was just a whole bunch of stuff for the bathroom, so that I can relax in my tub. And, they always tell me, Mom, you deserve it. You deserve whatever that you have. So I'm really, really fortunate to have so many wonderful people in my life. My children love me. I love them. I love my grandchildren. They love me as well. So I'm very fortunate in that aspect. So, like I said, sometimes our dreams do come true. It depends on what dream that you have. You know, my dreams are very small. So I don't try to live outside of my means. I do not want to keep up with the Joneses. I just want to be me, and I just want to be happy. And this little house makes me happy. Sometimes I would always say, oh my gosh, did I bite off more than I can chew? But a little bit at a time, when things get done, I can see my vision coming to life. And I'm very happy with how things are going. And like I said, I know my mom and dad would be happy to see me where I am as well. And my sister actually lived with me for a while here. I say Hardee's. So thank you for watching. Have a blessed day. I love you.